Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Round About Midnight, a Japanese thriller comedy hybrid from 1999 that stars Hiroyuki Sanada and Michelle Reis. I had never even heard of this movie before, but one of you recommended it in the comments section to one of my videos, and it was immediately available streaming, so I checked it out. Koji, played by Hiroyuki Sanada, plays jazz at a nightclub in Ginza. And tonight, a musician he really admires will drop by to see him perform. Now, while he's taking a break between sets, a murder occurs in the garage next to the club. Bar girl Linda, played by Michelle Reis, who witnessed the crime, flees from the scene and runs into Koji, pleading for help. With the killers right behind them, they hit the road with trumpet still in hand. Next thing they know, they're not only running for their lives, but they're also wanted by the police, who have tagged them on possible murder charges. And with such a fine mess on his hands, how is Koji going to get back to the club in time for his performance? Now, the title of this movie, Round About Midnight, is a reference to Miles Davis, who was a very popular jazz musician. And we do actually get a trumpet performance at a nightclub to start the film, with Sanada's character kind of showing off his skills. Now I could be wrong about this. I doubt Sanada actually played the song himself on the trumpet. I could be wrong, but he does a nice job faking it. It's a nice, relaxing, kind of jazzy way to get things rolling. We also see a shady transaction occurring in that nearby garage that was referenced in the plot synopsis, between some dangerous men, one of whom is played by Jun Kunimura, who has a significant supporting role. And as the plot synopsis suggests, our two protagonists end up running from Kunimura and his men. Now, you'll notice fairly early on in this that the foot chases and confrontations are lacking in high-octane thrills, going for more of a realistic feel. And sometimes our protagonists need to outrun the bad guys. Sometimes they need to be stealthy and kind of sneak around without them noticing that they're there. Even the way that these people run is kind of on the slow side. No one is fast on their feet in this. And when physical confrontations do happen, the fights are scrappy, they're clumsy, and fairly realistic in how they're executed. But it does make sense for this particular film. I know we've seen Sanada do some great action scenes over the course of his career, so I wasn't sure how he was going to be in this. In this film, he's just a trumpet player. He plays a trumpet player, so this guy, he's not like a great assassin or a awesome cop or anything like that. So he's just a normal, everyday guy just trying to survive the night and figure out what's going on. And it's pretty fun to watch, especially when you take into consideration that this is a half thriller, half comedy. And you need to make sure you keep that in mind. The tone of this movie did throw me off at first. I was kind of wondering if this would be like a more dark thriller, but there is a healthy dose of humor throughout here, which justifies some of the, foot chases and clumsy scuffles that occur, as well as some of the unrealistic elements that come into play. There are a few moments where it's unrealistic in terms of contrivances and perhaps coincidences that occur. And nothing crazy, but there are a few times where Koji is like about to bail on this girl, and something will have him kind of turn around and go back and help her again, But, it works with that comedy hybrid infused. Now, Sanada, for example, has to carry his trumpet with him throughout the entire night for some reason. Like, he's just not going to let go of this trumpet, even when his life's in danger. It's kind of ridiculous, but, again, within the context of this film, it works. There are some chuckle-worthy moments, but it's mostly laid-back stuff. And I found myself just having a good time with things, The tone of the movie, though, is very consistent. It doesn't get too serious, and it doesn't get too silly. So it has a really nice evenness to it. So it's one of those films where if you're enjoying the opening half hour, it's no question you will enjoy the entire film. Now, pairing a Japanese actor with a Hong Kong actress was kind of an interesting choice. When I saw the cast list, I was quite perplexed, because I believe the only stuff I've really seen Michelle Reis in are some like Hong Kong flicks from back in the day. But I like the pairing here. They have a slight language barrier, and the differences in their personalities create some pretty nice moments between them. I mean, I could watch Hiroyuki Sanada do laundry and be entertained, But, I always like seeing him in lead roles. I'm a big fan of the guy. But Michelle Reis is quite likable in this as well. Lots of recognizable supporting actors, too, so look out for them. Now, events are presented in real time, or at least close to it, with the entire film taking place under the nighttime lights of Tokyo over the course of just a few hours. And I'm a big fan of real-time type movies as well as films that take place at night, over the course of one evening. I just like that type of aesthetic. And, camera work's good, some nice long tracking shots. So this is, I definitely recommend Round About Midnight. But I would say this, don't go in expecting something that's like a high-octane thriller or a laugh-out-loud comedy like Gag Fest. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a tempered version of both that just, it's like deceptively pleasant, really, is how I would describe this. And it's a good time. It's a good time. So it's currently available streaming on YouTube. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.